So, hope you guys are all doing quite well. This is part 2 for the favorite games out of my collection fiasco thing I'm doing here on YouTube. So, I have a fat stack of PlayStation 2 games here, and I literally mean a fat stack of PlayStation 2 games. They're just sitting there right now in a fat stack, so therefore it's a fat stack. So, I'm going to have to bang through all these games, and if I have any comments about a certain game, I'll just say it really briefly. I'm not going to be very in-depth, so if you're expecting in-depth analysis of every game, you're going out of your fucking mind. So, okay, let's grab like 4 of them here, because this stack is teeter-tottering. Now the first game here is Robotech Battle Cry. Now, I actually like this game because of the fact of, well, it's good, it's fun. It's not the greatest game of all time, but it's actually really fun. One of those little niche titles, those very, I would say, underappreciated titles. But really fun game. Second one here is Gungrave Overdose. Again, a really good game. Arcadesy, just flat out fun. That's all I can generally say about it. Had a good anime based off of it as well. Galarian's Ash, which is, again, really good title. Has this really crazy, chaotic world in it. It's a mind fuck. The culture clash mixed in there as well. So, again, a really good game. Next game here is a little bit of that pervert in me, but at the same time, it's actually a really good fighting game of sorts, as it technically is, with a little bit of wrestling too, and that's Rumble Roses. I had Rumble Roses XX, but I just dropped it. I got rid of it because I was trying to save up towards something else, which I'm stupid of doing that. I need to get the XX again because that was actually pretty fun as well. Anyway, so next one here is Time Splitters Future Perfect. Really, really good shooter. Really good. Some people go, sick of title thin shooters. I guessed, and your brain is melted then. So, Time Splitters Future Perfect has all the good things going for it. The controls, the gameplay, the storyline's great, the voice acting, everything on this game was just, well, really almost imperfect. I can't say perfect because there's issues here and there, but it's actually a genuinely very good game. It mixes several different elements of themes, such as different time lengths and all that nature. Again, a really, really, really good game. Definitely check it out. I have to get the first 2 as well. I've played them, but I need to get them anyway for the PlayStation 2. Next one here is actually another underappreciated title. It was one of the few first games that came out for the PlayStation 1, I believe. Yeah, I think it's one of the first batches of games. And then, of course, is Extermination. Has some platform elements, very lightly of just platform elements, as well as it mixes up a little bit of Resident Evil in there as well, but you're dealing with insects and all that, so sort of, and I'm going to say very much so, sort of like Dead Space, but not quite the over-the-shoulder kind of thing. It just, again, a really good game. Looking at it again, it's such a fun game to play through. Next one here is, everyone should agree, hopefully. This is a few exceptions to sports styles I can sit down and really like. That, of course, is SSX Tricky. Now, I got Tricky and I got SSX 3, but this one out of all of them is my favorite, my absolute favorite. And I actually want to get this I wish they actually would have put this on the PC, should I say. But, again, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. But, again, a really fun, over-the-top sports title game. It has crazy tricks, just, really good. Everyone can agree that game is great. Everyone. Almost everyone, of course. Yeah, almost everyone. Next one right here is, I prefer the Dreamcast version. I do own the Dreamcast version, but this has some features that are pretty nice as well, so therefore, I kind of like this one too. That, of course, is Devil May Cry Code Veronica X. 5th anniversary. Code Veronica X 5th Anniversary Edition. There we go. Had to read it out loud so that way I don't screw it up. That's just how it is. Really good port though. Grab a couple more. Make sure that stack over there is staying steady. The first, Jak and Daxter. Really good game. This is when Naughty Dog really shined, I think, on the PlayStation 2. And, again, a great, great company anyway. They're really good company. And this is, to me, is one of their best running titles. Sadly, they didn't put too many more out after this, past, the racing one and the PSP one, which was actually pretty good. But, again, this one right here, I think, is the gem out of the collection. Like, all-time, one of the best ones. This one right here is a very underappreciated title. Like, I'm just going to definitely say that for this one. And that is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. Really good game. And you don't hear any motherfucker bring this game up. Nobody really does, except like a few. And it's a good goddamn game. It just surprised me the success it did not get. It's like, there's light bugs here and there, light bugs, but it's past that. It was such a well put together game. I was very surprised it didn't do even better than that did. I guess it was just because of the time frame it got put out against other titles. I guess it wasn't doing so successfully. I don't know, I digress. This one right here is my favorite out of the series, and that's stretching it pretty far, and that is Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. I think this is probably one of the few good Tenchu games. The rest of them are just kind of buggy and just the controls suck. But this one right here, it's the most less buggy of the bunch, and it actually was fun and good to play. And so you have two characters you can play as, which I need to read their fucking names, because I can't remember them anymore. That sucks. But I remember playing this a few times with my buddies, and I used to play as the girl ninja, and he played as the guy ninja, and it was a really good title overall. Really good missions. The missions are pretty solid, and nothing too bad about it. Yeah, it's buggy, but I guess it's a charming part of it too. The next one here is actually one of the most, I would say, the bastard children of the series. Not a lot of people like it, but it's generally a very good game. It's sort of the approach that Final Fantasy 13 kind of approached the series with too, with a lot of dialogue, a lot of cutscenes and all that, but gameplay is really good. It's a tight game. And of course is Final Fantasy 12, the collector's edition I have here, which again is nothing too spectacular. You get a bonus disc, which I forgot was actually on that. I think it's just like behind the scenes shit, which I'm probably going to pop that in after and see what the hell it's all about. Completely forgot what's on there. It comes with the manual and disc. When I got this, I was very happy to. At least the collector's edition of this one. Okay, it says on the back here. Developer interviews, history of the Final Fantasy featurettes, art gallery, US and Japanese trailers. Alright, I'll definitely have to watch that then. I remember when I completed this, I felt a little bit overwhelmed by it, because it was sort of like the stuff was so in depth, a lot of the gameplay, but at the same time it felt like they could have added so much more to it. But I kind of appreciated what they've done with the mechanics with it. Like the mechanics for something that of Final Fantasy 11, it felt like an MMO, but yet it wasn't. It's sort of like the dot hack of the series, if you want to put it that way as well. Because dot hack was an MMO that people were interacting with or was in, but this just felt like an MMORPG offline, which was not a bad thing. It was actually a pretty good game, so really good game. I'm gonna play that again now. I just looked at it, I'm like, Okay, I'm gonna grab a couple more. Next one here is actually surprised most people because I'm not a heavy fan of Grand Theft Auto. I'm just not heavy into the sandbox games. I like some of them, but this one out of the series brought my attention. Just the soundtrack was fantastic. I like the 80s vibe going for it, and as soon as I said 80s, you guys just figured out instantly what I was talking about. That is Grand Theft Auto Vice City. Now, again, it's just such a well put together game. I loved the side missions. I loved the storyline, so it just kept me going. Plus the infamous chainsaw scene in this, along with sort of reminiscent of Scarface, which is loosely what that was based off of, was just fun. Just chasing some motherfucker down the road and getting him down with a chainsaw. It was great fun. Great fun. Next one here, I think a lot of people would agree with, at least, out of the bunch, is 13. Another underappreciated title which was published by Ubisoft. I had to make sure I read that double check because my mind was about to say it, but I was like, whoop, I checked quickly. But Really good game. Had a unique cel-shaded graphics to it, or had unique cel-shaded graphics to it. And it was sort of, I would say, one of those titles that you can appreciate for its story, but it fell premature at the end because of the fact that it just ended weirdly. Like, you'd hope for a better ending, or hope for a sequel or something, because it just sort of left you awkward, I guess. This is a series I think a lot of people would agree with as well. Is there a game in here? Nope, sorry, it's like sleeve over there. That, of course, is Hunter the Reckoning Wayward. See, if I try to talk too fast and try to pronounce that, that kills me. But it's sort of like a dungeon crawl a little bit. It has that over-the-head style to it, and it just caught a lot of people's imaginations, I would say, when it first came out. Really good title. Highly recommend it if you have not played it before in your life. It's really fun. Especially with co-op. Like, co-op, it just blows my balls off. Like, if they would have put that entire series in like a bundle in Steam or something, I would buy it in a heartbeat. Which I probably think a lot of others would as well, because it's sort of like the staple of gaming right there. Next one right here, I think a lot of people also agree with, and this right here, I don't know what the fuck is up with that. Anyway, Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. Damn good game. Damn good game. Storyline was great, the fucking combat was okay, I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it just had a great storyline, the puzzles, the jumping and all that, it just, flowed together so well. And just the combat to me was kind of, But rest of it was great. Next one right here is a very underappreciated title as well. I have a lot of niche games in my collection, as you know, some of you probably never heard of in your fucking life. Nanobreaker. Nanobreaker is... Man, am I like giving mini reviews of each one of these games? I better speed this up. Anyway, Nanobreaker is really good. Has this arcadey style hack and slash elements to it. You can change the blood and all that in here too, which was pretty cool. I had I think I had rainbow blood when I first played it. Excuse me. But again, a really good and fun title. Next one right here, which is actually a bastard child out of the series of these fighting games, and that of course is King of the Fighter, Maximum Impact. And this right here is the bonus edition, which has Mai in there, which... Giggity. Again, it's a bastard child of the series. It's because it was 3D and some elements didn't mingle with people very well, which I could see why to a degree. But it was fun to me, and I liked it, so... I had an allowance when I was younger, so I ended up buying this, and I wasn't disappointed. It was pretty good. Especially if you play with friends. I think that's what really sticks out with that one. Next one right here, one I would agree with. Mortal Kombat took a stump in the dirt, and this sort of brought it back for a lot of people, which was quite interesting. And that, of course, is Mortal Kombat Deception. This is, of course, the Collector's Edition. This is Sub-Zero, which, funny enough, let me show you here really quickly. This edition, even though it's Sub-Zero, was this the one? Huh. Okay, which one was it then? There was actually... It was like an addition to it, or what the fuck did I buy that had Sub-Zero rather than... Or I had Scorpion instead of Sub-Zero? Can't remember. Cannot remember. Was it actually in here? Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out now. It's going to drive me crazy. Anyway, there was some sort of typo with one of these. I can't remember which one it was. But this one was actually a really good game. This is the few exceptions to Mortal Kombat I've actually liked. It had a lot of great content built up into this game, too. So it filled the disc full of shit that you would get into. I think this... Did that one have bowling? Fuck, it's going to drive me crazy. It had a mini game with like a adventure mode, which was pretty cool. Though the tutorial bit pissed me off a lot, because it was just such silly shit. This, I don't know what the fuck happened to this case. I'm not even sure this is actually... Anyway. What the fuck did happen to that? Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. I have part 2 over there. And This is a great game for the PlayStation 1. I loved Part 2, but sadly someone took that and I never saw it over again. But, until recently. And, again, one of my favorite games for the PlayStation 2. Spent many hours playing it. Over and over and over. Next one right here is Maximal for the PlayStation 2. Really good game. I gave my spare copy to Alec John because he was really looking for it, and I gave it to him. And again, this game is great. It's hard as hell. I mean, it's hard, but it's not hard where you get mad at it. It's just you do better next time, kind of thing. And that's what was really important about that one. Next one here is Raiden 3. I was actually very happy to grab this one when I did. This was from the GameStop. It was like a couple bucks, I believe, but. Again, very happy to obtain it and play it. It's hard to a degree, but rewarding at the same time. One of my favorites of the Final Fantasy series, and that of course is Final Fantasy X. A lot of people wouldn't agree with me, that's completely fine, but one of my favorite games of the PlayStation 2, I'd spent many hours uncovering all the secrets for this one and just trying to figure everything out, and I hate Blitzball in that game, that's all I gotta say. I mean, I managed to get World Champion Ball, but I was like, ugh, pissed me off doing it. Next, trying not to burp, I was trying to hold it back, I was like, ooh, is Munimusha 2, or Unimusha 2. Really good game, great storyline, the presentation with this one was great, even the graphics are just like, great stuff all around. And it had ninja boobies. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But, again, great game. I was really happy to obtain it. Next one right here is, I would say, a fan favorite as well, next to Onimusha. And that, of course, is Zayno Saga. And when I completed this one, I was happy, at the same time pissed off, because how frustrated I was with the game, because there were certain parts that just whipped my ass, and it was sort of like My Nano Kuni of yesteryear. Because there was certain fragments of the game that just fucked my shit up. Like, there was, I don't know what it was, I was either under leveled, or I don't know what, but this thing fucked my noise up. Like, it was just, my speakers are blown playing that game. I think first time I ever raged at a game, actually. The next game right here is actually something I got recently, but it actually became one of my favorites, and that is for Sylphid, The Lost Planet. A shmup of sorts, but again, really damn good. It got made by Treasure and published by Working Designs. What's not to love? It's one of those shiny cases that make you go blind when you look at it in a bright light. It's like, oh. Next one right here is actually a movie-to-game kind of thing. But it's called Peter Jackson's King Kong, the official game of the movie. I got this as a birthday gift one year from my mom, and I was kind of like going, oh, thanks, Mom. So I actually played it. It was damn good. I mean, next to this one and Constantine I actually got, they were really good games. Constantine's sitting over there, I was too lazy to bring it over. Don't hate me. But you can play as Kong, which was pretty fun, but the human, or playing as the guy, was really fun. Like, it was a really good game. I was very surprised. The next one right here is one of those titles that you just appreciate all around. Iconic. Really damn good fighter. Part 3 was okay, but it didn't really make my list. And that, of course, is Soul Calibur 2. God damn it, this game was good. The graphics still hold up today as well, which is just a great thing. You can play as Hamachi from Tekken, which was, again, nice little feature. I usually played as Nightmare a lot, so there you go. But a really good series, or at least it's a good series. I'm not going to say it's a really good, because it's like really some mishaps with it here and there, but great game. They should do an HD remake for the PC or something. I don't know, maybe, perhaps. Next one right here is the original God of War. Now, God of War 1 is by far one of the most iconic and most popular games for the PlayStation 2. One of. I'm not saying it is the one. But this was, I would say right here, for a while, running at least, was Sony's mascot for their consoles. Even though it was an overly violent game, it was good. And it started off the names God of War clones, which in turn, it was original of its time. It was like a beat 'em up meets an adventure game meets an action game and all that nature. Okay, let's bring some more out here. Now, I don't have the disc for this one right here, but that, of course, is Demon's Stone. Really damn good game from the Forgotten Realms. Not the read of the game because my brain went burp. But you can play as one of 3 characters. I usually played as the rogue chick a lot. It was just really fun playing as her. But damn, it was a good game. Fuck. Next one here is Dragon Quest VIII, Journey of the Cursed King. Again, it was actually one of those underwhelming games at first, but the more you played it, the more it got good. So, again, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Yeah. Or one of my favorites, at least from the Dragon Quest series. Next one right here was actually given to me by my brother. There's actually a couple in here my brother did, because he said he got rid of his PlayStation 2 at the time, and he gave them to me. So, this one right here was Shining Force Neo, which, again, really fun and great game. Highly recommend it. But, what was it? Shoot, I'm trying to remember something about it, and I can't remember it now. There's like a cool element, but it wasn't the beat-em-up elements, but... Oh well, it's gonna haunt me for the rest of my life, and I'll probably remember it as the video ends. Next one right here is actually one of my favorites, and one of the first games, and I'm going to say, for the PlayStation 2. This is, of course, one of the launch titles made by Square Enix, which was actually a sleeper hit, where people did not expect too much out of it at first, but when they got it, they were like, fuck, that's a good game. That, of course, is The Bouncer. Damn, this is a good game. Fuck. I always played as the blonde demon guy who did, like, wrestling moves. Can't remember most of their names, so I'm just going to say that demon guy. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about. Next one right here is Chaos Legion. Really good game. Really good. Has like a arena-style-ish style to it, but really good overall. I think it's one of their best works yet from Capcom. Surprised they didn't make a sequel for the modern consoles. But I digress. Next one right here I got is one of my first titles I got for my own PlayStation 2, and that, of course, is DOA 2 Hardcore, where you turn the age to 99 and let your little pre-adolescent body overwhelm yourself. Oh, yeah. Boobies everywhere. But no, it's actually a really solid fighter game, and it's one of the few I can actually appreciate and actually like. Because I'm very picky with fighters, like, I don't like them as often, so... Because there's so many of them that came out so fucking often, too, and I'm not going to get into that, though. But... really good game. Had this for a goddamn while, let me tell you. Next one right here is something that was sort of like a blind buy, but it actually became really goddamn good. It's like a roguelike, too, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It actually has roguelike elements. Now, of course, is Crimson Tears. Excuse me. It was made by Spike originally and published by Capcom, but really good game. Really good. Really enjoy. I can say really good a lot, don't I? But had a lot of interesting characters, like the Brawler, the chick. I think she had swords? Did she have swords? I think she had guns. I can't remember. I think she had like a one-handed sword. This chick right here, like a two-handed sword, like a buster, and he had the melee. But, no, he had the guns, she had the sword, and she had the buster sword. Okay, I remember now. It took me a while because I barely played it for ages. But, again, one of those great titles that you can just look back on and go, But, again, if you have never played this in your life, pick it up. Really good game. Really good. Next one right here is Kingdom Hearts. I got the strategy guide over there somewhere. But, again, really one of my favorite games to the PlayStation 2. The rest of the games I never really played too much of, besides the DS one, but that's about it. But, yeah, it's actually one of the few I can appreciate, at least with that mixture, that family of Squaresoft and Disney Studios, which these guys made a great game together, I gotta say. And over here, last batch of games here, and that, of course, is the Ark of Nymphium, which I believe this is 6. I believe this is 6. Is this 6? Or 5? 6? I'm going to say it's 6 for now, because I can't remember the date, which exact number this one is. But, Really great game. The voice acting is complete shit. I'm just going to be blunt about that one. But the gameplay itself holds up. It's actually one of the few titles I bought day one when it came out. Was not disappointed though. Falcom and Konami, when Konami published this with PlayStation 2, did it justice. The PSP version I've never tried, but I heard it's identical probably to this one to an extent. But again, the voice acting I think it's one of the charms to it because it's so fucking bad it's good kind of thing. Even though it's remotely fucking bad to me anyway. Some people thought it's so bad it's good. Ugh, that shit. So the next game I got right here for Christmas one year when it first came out, of course, was Castlevania Laminate Viz Innocence. Really goddamn good game. Like, just really good. So good, maybe touch my nipples, but no. It was the first transition to 3D for the Castlevania series, one of, I'm not going to say it is the first one, that hit PS2 and it was actually good versus the Castlevania one for N64, which was terrible. It was fucking the N64 Castlevania games are bad. They're just flat out bad, broken. And this is not me basing my opinion off the angry video game nerd, just first-hand experience of how bad they were. Ugh. So, really good game out of the series. I would say check it out. Next to Curse of Darkness on the PlayStation 2 and Xbox as well. Really good title too. Castle Shikigami, or Sekigami, it's actually a shmup. And it's one of those underappreciated ones. The voice acting is also remotely bad. It's like legendarily bad, but it's good. It's actually I actually appreciate it because of the humor behind it. Like I would sit here and play this with a friend, and they were just like laughing their asses off. They're like, "What the fuck is this dude?" So, yeah, really good game. Really easy at fragments, but past that, a great game. Like I could not put it down. Next game right here is actually, this is based off anything other than my own opinion. That was Coach Drakengard is actually one of my favorites too. Never played Part 3 yet or nor Part 2, but this one was pretty damn good for what it was. That's a fat stack. It's ready to fall over. Holy shit. Gotta speed this up before it all falls down. Next game, which is, I'm going to make an honorable mention to Shadow of the Colossus because it's sitting over there, but Nico, or Ico, is actually one of those best games you probably mentioned for PlayStation 1. It has an infamously good storyline. It just, because it tells itself so well, just everything going on in the game. And the gameplay itself is, I would say legendary to when it comes to video gaming history. It's just a legendary game. Really damn good game. So it stands up there with Shadow of the... Wow. Can't remember the damn game, and it's sitting right there in my skull. Is it Flashback? Is it Flashback? Can't remember it. But you'll probably know what I'm talking about, and you'll correct me in the comments. But anyway, last two games here is Eve of Extinction. It's kind of like, this game right here is a lot like The Matrix meets Star Wars in a really weird fucking way. It has these agents and all that. It just has this entire over-the-top Matrix-ish style feel to it. Really good game though, really good. And the last game, which is actually, I would say, was this one complete? Yes, it was. Okay, I was having a brain fart there. Is Bujigai, the Forsaken City. There we go. I always forget the fucking remix name to this. Bujigai is practically really over-the-top culture clash at its finest. It's actually a really solid PlayStation 2 title. I mean, there's so many other titles such as Sly Cooper and all that, which are honorable mentions to me, but again, this one right here takes the cake at just being great. It's cheesy great in that sense. It has so many weird elements, interesting weapons, the enemies are kind of generic, but they're just there for the sake of you cutting them in pieces. But again, really great game. Check it out if you can. But yeah, that's... We'll wait for that. Hopefully that doesn't fall over. That, of course, is my pile of PlayStation 2 games that I like. I was originally going to do PlayStation 2 and Steam games, but I'm going to do the Steam games in another video, so it's going to be 3 parts instead, because I didn't realize how many I actually did like for the PlayStation 2. I sat there and went, okay, what is it? So, bear with me. Part 3 will be coming soon, but hope you enjoyed this video. Out of all the favorites here, which ones are your favorites out of the bunch I mentioned? As well as mention your favorite PlayStation 2 games in the comments down below. As always, take it easy, touch your nipples, and see you later.